Hello? Hello? Test 1, 2. Fuck. Hello? Hello? Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Hello? Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test, test. Test, test. Test, test. Test, test. Test, test. 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 Test, test. Test, test. Test, test. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Test, test. Test, test. Test, test, 1, 2. Test, test, 1, 2. Test, test, 1, 2. Test, test, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. There we go. I'm walking away from him.
Test, test, 1, 2.
He's not gonna. Oh, alright. Just a 4. Dean,
Hmm?
my wife is Lyrelay.
I'll fucking kill you. By the way, you feed, you lane with me and you feed again, I'm purging you from my friends list.
Feed? What did I feed?
Just like, how Marty didn't make the cut.
Oh, wait, pay for your friends list?
It's still pending.
That's tough. I don't know
It's
why
tough
you
to make the
wouldn't.
list.
Poor Marty.
What's with the crown fall? You know, the fucking homepage? The abs and stomach are so prominent. I think they're telling us something.
They're trying to sell it to you, my boy.
Why does VS's boobs look like eggs?
I mean, she's a chicken.
Like, lore-wise?
Yeah. Well, they just call her the chicken. Like her taunt is a chicken. Also,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
spelling error. They said the Frosts of Ice Rack Part 3 comes out June 39th.
Got to accept.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm saying in general, Crown Pool.
Oh.
It does say June 39th. What the heck?
Maybe
thought
our
you-
club will take mid.
I thought you were talking
Moonstyle?
about a movie.
No. Uh, it'd be fun to play.
Oh no.
What?
That just got on.
Zach just gets on. Are you serious? Come on, man.
Alright, time to throw our game, boys. Feed as
Yeah.
much as you can.
Woke that bastard up. He's gonna be so mad.
I'll message him again.
Ethan, you haven't touched Visage since years?
No, I touched him a while back.
How do you like his facets? Have you seen them?
Yeah, they're pretty okay. I remember one just being like a lot better than the other, but I don't remember which one was which.
Yeah, you'd probably one was Grave Chill effects units around the target, and the other one is his familiars move with you, so you can't
No.
micro.
Yeah, the one that was just easy mode.
Yeah, which is what I did last match.
Our
That's-
guy went, our extra went moon. And he went Race King.
All melee, baby.
We'll be fine.
Oh, I know. I mean, when I saw Seth was getting on, I was like, well, I'm okay with making it a little quick.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get either roll or we're gonna get rolled because we're going against a freaking Urza.
Huh?
Bro, we're gonna roll over them so quickly.
Gay.
Oh, you guys are in the game already.
Well, yeah.
Freaking gay.
You went. Oh.
Maybe you should have woken up, homo.
It's okay. We're gonna either win fast or lose fast because Angel went Tide Hunter.
No,
No,
we're
it's
gonna
okay.
win that.
I'm gonna just go to sleep because it's already 12.
Okay.
God, what a gay boy,
Move. I mean, what does he expect? He doesn't say anything. He just goes,
Seth can just watch our game from my stream.
Yeah. Gonna just watch it there. Do you stream on YouTube or Twitch? I don't remember.
I stream to Twitch and export to YouTube.
I see. Oh, it's an AoE around me now. I forgot. Wasting mana over here.
Oh shit. Rating's dead.
yeah, he's fine. He's running.
No,
Let's
he's
bully the
not.
Thirsta, maybe. Don't go there. Don't go there. Okay, well,
This is right here.
don't die.
Do they have a coach? They have a coach.
Yeah, they have a coach.
Coach.
If they line up like that, they think they need one.
Yeah. He's got double.
Kevin, are you?
You're a little far from me.
Away from me.
You're fine.
Time to go back.
You think you can take harm? Because I'm gonna like practice.
That's fine. That's fine.
Stop this wyvern, man. Come down here.
God damn it. I'm trying to get that deny. Good shit. Oh, I'm getting got! Oh, these creeps, man! They're all over my ass. Good deny.
Do you think he's gonna die yet? Jesus.
Don't pull the creeper too far in, because then I can't. I get like trapped in the.
Fucking Crawford, you stupid bitch.
I'm gonna catch this wave. Careful. God damn it, stupid range creep.
Oh fuck me. Let her run.
Oh my god, dude. Can't get anything done there. They get to grave chill the Ursa.
Come
I
on,
don't
dude.
even know how
that's
he's
what I
leveled.
did.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought he did Lion.
No.
Oh my god, I'm
Dead again.
playing book right now.
This Wraith King is eating his ass off.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
Jesus.
You have to stay back, man.
A loss so small, the world will hardly notice. Yeah, this lane is cancerous as hell. Holy shit. Lion Ursa, that is so annoying.
Missing mid.
Okay. Oh, he has phase boots. Yeah, this lane's unplayable for me now, so I'm gonna go farm the jungle.
Rating. What are we gonna do with you, brother? That's all right.
Bro, there's always like little packet loss spikes now. It's crazy. Coming back.
Oh, lion over here.
Okay.
God
He's probably
damn it,
conducting
dude.
the wisdom run. I'm gonna go get it. Oh, he got it already. God damn it. Alright. I'm gonna go back to junk.
I gotta back out. Jesus, this freaking
Oh my god.
This Wraith King's died 5 times. Jesus.
I'm not getting anything now. Alright, I'm gonna get this replay.
Mhm.
Alright.
15 mid.
Okay.
Back.
Going back to damn. Bro, I need 6 so bad.
That shit hurts so much. And Wraith King's dead again.
What?
I can just get out. We kill this mid.
Yeah.
No, we can't. Kill this. Kill this.
I'm trying to run over there.
Oh my god, I can't get the hex off when he insta casts the hex.
Oh, dude, let it rip. Get this guy maybe.
Bro, my ult does not go off. I literally clicked it 50 freaking times, man. The cast point is so slow compared to hex. It's crazy. That's absurd.
Dude, this racing is terrible.
Get him, Zach. Oh my god, dude. I'm an idiot. I'm playing too tilted. Okay, gotta calm down.
Necro.
Yes, we got the dude. Oh. Good shit, guys. Very nice.
Oh shit. Oh, I should just keep running, keep running, keep running, keep running.
Yeah, they're just gonna run at you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit some creeps real quick. Please hit me.
Good toss, Zach.
I gotta farm from my blink.
Ah. Behind clock.
Oh, nothing, no. I didn't even need to buy. That's alright. You guys cleaned them up.
These are Ethan, since you're full. These are stacked.
Okay, thank you. I'll take it right now.
I can take it to you in a moment.
Yeah, I just want to get the... I'm almost at blade.
Necro's down here.
extend? Oh, never mind.
No, I'm almost done. Let me finish my blade mail first.
Coming.
Getting gone on?
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
I already looked at that.
Necrophos coming.
I'm dipping. I don't know. I'm getting my blade mail right now. I have no mana, so I can't really do a lot.
Oh, Ursa's here.
Oh, okay. I couldn't blink in time.
Ursa's diffusal blade.
Okay. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck is wrong? I'm right.
Smoke, if you want to smoke, you got TP on somebody.
Yeah.
Come here, come to me.
Okay.
We can go mid or something.
I need to go obs down anyway.
Get it like here or something. In their triangle too, or in their jungle. Go to their jungle.
I think they're gonna
Got one
be
here.
like stuff. Oh, right here.
Behind me.
Here. Help.
You're kind of screwed right now. Run! No reason!
Help me kill this. Okay, never mind. This king is busy doing who knows what.
He's being dumb. He
Well, I
does
mean, Rickon was already far away.
you're gonna just take me down right now.
Kill everyone. We just need. Ethan needs to get the duel off on the Ursa, I guess. When we kill him.
I'm gonna just have to hold it till Ursa is around. I need to like get a blink though so badly now.
I mean, we're gonna be fighting for a bit. I can toss you, so it's not like it's not dire.
Then we need to like get good like good initiation.
Let me get that rune. Let me run to that rune. Maybe we can find someone. Here.
Oh, I'm coming.
See Ursa. No, maybe not. Oh, nah.
Toss me?
But who?
Ursa doesn't have. I don't think.
Yeah, but there's 3 heroes here.
That's fine. That's fine. You're right.
Okay.
He ult through my duel, dude.
You gotta not. We can get the solo hero, but don't duel people when there's like a whole team there.
Dude, you're going on them and then you're gonna get killed. I'm just using my resources, but yeah, no, I'm not gonna duel anymore like that.
Teen, run away, run away. Don't, just run, just run. Right. People can't kill this guy.
Oh my.
Dude, let me throw something!
Good shit. Wow.
Dude, fuck this system, man. It's crazy. Go on this, we can go on this, we can go on this.
Come on.
Oh, I don't have a tree at least. Ready for the damn Earth, though.
Too much damage. Can't do anything there. Alright.
I could blink in there.
Gotta hit these guys.
Abandoned.
How do I die that fast? Holy crap.
Kill this if we can. If we can. He's gonna go to the ancient. Let's go like this, let's go like this. Through the side. Oh.
I'm behind you.
Here?
Toss me. Toss me.
Trying to, but I'm not in range. I'm not in range. I'm not in range. I'm not in range.
Alright.
GP. Another one's coming.
You're gonna be left. Necro's coming this way. You can kill him.
Yep.
Bro, what is
Oh,
happening?
shit. He's got a solar fence on him. No. If we can't even do that, then it's GG for sure. God damn. Nice. Toss him back. What? Oh my god. I was just that I'm mashing there and like I'm not getting anything out of it. It's crazy.
Alright, it's just a warm-up game. Just a warm-up.
Oh, he tossed me.
Trying to throw him. Alright, next game.
I truly believe they changed some of the cast point animation for Legion. That was insane.
Probably.
I think that fight mid, I tried casting duel 5 times in a row, and it never went off. Or Lion was just proccing Hex beforehand, or buffering Hex. Because that was
I will say,
absurd.
That Wraith King was just not it though.
he
too.
threw
Like
that
you,
whole thing. He
yeah.
fed our lane multiple times. I was disgusted. This will have to be my last. No. Oh.
Hang on, guys. I'm gonna switch over to Discord on my computer.
Oh man,
What?
these homos again. The 3 stack.
I'll play someone else. I'm gonna play Shadow Fiend. This is
How fortuitous.
no, I want to play him again because I want to shit on him.
There we go.
Yay! Yeah!
It's alright, I'm going mid.
You're in luck, Zach.
Yeah, I want these fucks to die. I'll second phase. I don't know. Oh man, is this guy good? 2,000 wins. You want mid, Zeus? And lane top. No thanks? Okay.
No thanks, noob.
Pick Isle. Isle's bad here. What am I saying? I have to really stay away from CK here.
Nathan.
Yeah.
How'd you like that Dodgers game? You know, I missed I missed the walk off.
Oh really?
I was in the kitchen
I did-
fucking cooking up my Zan cow.
I missed the sack fly to tie it.
Oh my god, it was such
It's
bullshit.
the,
I
it's
saw
the
that
first,
one, but not the winner.
It's the first loss when Miguel Rojas gets a hit. You guys should be pleased with yourselves.
Bro, any win against anyone is good enough for me.
Well, because all season long, the Dodgers have been like 24-0 when Miguel Rojas gets one hit. He got a hit tonight, and they still lost.
Yeah, but you guys didn't have any, you started with Yarbrough or whatever.
Oh, we started with Knack.
Oh.
Yarbies. We want to contest or no? Zach.
Pink, right? Because we have Rays, we have Earth Spirit, we have decent heroes. Let him come down to get the rune and we tear him up. Let him come down though. They're going? Pull him? Do we have a slow? Anything?
We only got one bounty though. What the hell? I
Do
guess
we got any bounty runs?
yeah, we got one. I got it.
Okay.
But the we got first blood though, so that's more important, I think.
Fucking.
You take farm this time, Dean, because I'm gonna be rotating around.
What? Oh, never mind. It's a druid.
That's a lone druid, yeah.
Fine. Oops, wrong button. 2, I'm gonna rotate mid Zach just to kill the
Wait for me to hit level 3 and we go.
Stupid fucking bear.
That's fine.
I can pull this thing. See?
Window freaking eyes. Set some stacks up. I'll secure bottom Zach for you for the rune if you
If
need
your
it.
bottom, yeah, because he's gonna sit there and wait for it. Or he's not.
You want bottom?
Yeah, no, take it, take it, take it.
Oh, maybe not. No. Oh, I forgot Disruptor could TP me. I fucked up. This bitch TP'd me back to base. That's crazy. I will fucking kill
Okay,
you.
it's stunned right here, I think. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Oh god damn it, I want some of those. Can I come mid Zach or
Can, yeah.
okay.
You think you can kill him?
You can try. Even if I just get a little harassment on him.
Yeah.
I'll guard bot rune first,
Bot rune?
and then
Yeah.
we'll see. And then I'll rotate. I can get a stack off.
I'll go with you.
Oh, he's right here.
Oh, go. That's fine. Just okay. You're good.
Shit.
No. Dude. I almost said buyback on accident. Whoopsie.
I got level 3 Zach, so I'm gonna see if I can come back again.
Yep.
Oh, Disruptor was kind of diving there.
Being AIDS.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can go.
Oh man,
I'm going.
kind of dangerous, dude. That's super dangerous.
Nah, that's fine.
We got him out of lane. Going back to lane. It's a lot of XP.
Playing. Oh shit.
Oh my god, bro.
Trying to hit him as much as possible.
Good shit.
Fucking.
Let me get this rune, Ethan.
Just gonna see if I can go to just want this XP.
Missing.
Zach, our triangle's stacked also. I stacked it
Okay.
twice. I'm gonna go get the wisdom rune, Dean, and then I'll come back to lane.
Mhm. No, it's just annoying when CK procs his bullshit chance.
Oh yeah, I hate that. That crap is annoying. Oh, they took it already, huh? Ready to go? Tinker? Oh my god, bro.
I have no mana right now.
Got him. I don't really have any juice, but stay in lane. Oh, we're Tinker left.
He's just farming. Trying to bounce back.
Shit, I'm coming back down.
I should have done it earlier. That's alright. Shit, Zach. Good rotation.
Coming back, coming back. We can go on this.
Beautiful. Keep in mind that runes are up for a bounty.
Going for it.
Try to get out of here. No! You son of a bitch!
I see Tinker, I'm gonna kill him. Who's been taking the room or the wards? He's up here, by the way, Zach.
Zeus. Yeah. I want to take the. There he is.
I messed it up. Did it hit me? You almost got it?
Are you gonna? You don't have anything? Oh yeah.
I didn't have
there you
anything,
go.
dude. What do you mean?
You literally didn't.
I had no juice left.
You got to the tower, they don't get anything. That's fine.
Look how far away I am. Let's see.
No, I didn't pull on. Fucking piece of shit.
We go on this.
Yeah.
On what?
Oh. Benja's there? Shit, Zach. I'll deny this.
I'm leaving.
Push this out.
I'm leaving.
Oh, Tinker's down here.
So we can
I don't have a TP for top. I'm sorry.
Wait, who on earth keeps buying our... Why does Zeus keep buying our wards? So annoying. He's literally only putting them in lane.
They're gonna get top tower.
We kill him.
I have...
Let me know when.
I'm running to you guys.
I
Oh.
got fucking sent back to the Shadow Realm.
Dude, you are fucking worthless, dude. Fucking damn.
Bro, Zeus, can you do something, man?
I tried to W you.
Holy... Oh my god, why do you go...
Heal yourself, team. Start spamming your heals on yourself. And pop your wand if you can. Okay.
I got stopped there, so I couldn't do shit.
And Zeus needs to
Check on
freaking
team.
leave the lane, so I
Rainbow.
know that he's not going to be around. I don't know why he's just sticking around. Good job, guys. I'm taking top middle, I mean.
You are not looking too hot just because we don't have a carry.
No.
Up to Dean to get damage.
I'm gonna get a halberd also, I think.
I wish I had.
They're all down here.
They're all here, Zach. They're all
Get
here.
out.
Druid solo up top.
Bastard is in my way. What the hell?
I'll come down easy, man. Cause this isn't really doing much up top.
What the fuck is Zeus's farm?
Well, Zeus is not trying to play a carry. He's just trying to play. He just said he doesn't care.
Then why did you play safe lane then?
I don't
Druid's
fucking
right
know,
here.
dude.
Is that?
I don't think I can kill him yet. I need my ult. Alright, we can try. Why not? Fuck it.
Zeus is here too, so I might as well try to see if he'll
Yeah.
do something.
Kill him. Let's just kill this fuck. Pass on the druid.
What does she have that is giving her so much armor? Oh, she gets a damage shield off of her swap, I see. I didn't know that.
And Zeus just bounce. Zeus bounce. Run, run, run. Zeus legit threw one spell and dipped.
The farm. I just have to farm. Either that, unless we go with 5, we're not killing that guy. Kill his courier, kill his courier, kill his courier, kill his courier.
Where is it?
It's running past you! Okay, well, never mind.
Good shit.
Kill this?
Oh no, I just left. I'm trying to get the bounty.
I'm coming.
Good shit, Zach. I'm coming over. Nice. Nice.
I'll try to
Kill
do
these
this
guys,
alone.
bottom?
Yeah, let me.
I got a TP there though.
They have 3 carries that are gonna get farmed. That is crazy.
There you go. Oh,
You're getting gone on.
he's right here.
I know, but I want the druid.
He's gonna die.
You got him? Oh my. Whip.
Save me! Cast your thing on me! Cast your thing
I
on me!
did.
Thank you.
You weren't that low yet, so I didn't want to use it just right then and there.
You have to use it right away, dude, because they're gonna just burst. Not on you. It's just fucking Zeus is annoying the shit out of me. Me too.
Fucking bullshit.
I'm waiting for you guys. Oh shit, this stuff
No, don't cast them now. Yeah. I need my BKB before next fight. is 10 seconds for my TP.
You're gonna pull me back right now. God damn it, dude. Good job, Zach. Nice.
Ethan, how did a disruptor get you that far?
Cause he still had
Oh,
the thunder shock. It gives him vision. So even when it runs out, it's still gonna get me.
I mean, the range was huge though.
grab Shin.
Well, the glimpse at max level is crazy far. We go on one of these, Zach, or
Yeah, if we can catch Druid by himself, yeah. He's not by himself. Get out! Get out. Just run, just run, just run.
careful with swap. They have a lot of force mobility options.
Getting out. Just spam their stuff, but I'm getting out.
All right. Okay. Careful, Zach. They're going towards you.
Yeah, I have TP, I can blink out.
See if you can get the wisdom rune. A D push. That's the nice thing. Can we take a smoke, or do you think they're gonna stay spread
They're
together?
gonna stay as 5.
Yeah. Let's get out.
They try to
We're
swap you.
chasing the. Yep.
No.
Yeah, I
you
knew.
just walked out of my W.
It's fine. Just get out. Get back. Get back.
Nice, nice, nice. That's perfect.
Got by. Oh, that's more than worth it, though.
Yeah.
Druid and Disruptor for me, it's totally cool. I've almost got Halberd also. Oh, that's not good.
Why is he getting caught there?
Yeah, I don't know why it was bought. What the? It was behind the tier 1 too.
I get the feeling they have a ward. They put a ward on the high ground.
Well, yeah, I just can't do anything right now about it. Fuck, dude, why would you think I would want a recipe courier? Come on. What do you think it is, Zach? Right here?
It's either, I think it's, yeah, on the high ground.
They had it on. Bro, Zeus, come on, bro. Now they're gonna take our Tormentor. Sure.
One on this.
Nice. A lot of those.
They're TPing on you, Deck. Run.
Good job, Zach.
Hope they don't see me up here.
I think you're good. You want us to turn around on it?
They see you.
Might be able to. No, they don't.
Illusions are gonna fade away soon.
Yeah, turn. If we see him, if he comes up for that wave, we can get him.
I don't
Never
think
mind,
they're
I don't
gonna.
think all right, they're gone. They're gone. I want to kill the Chaos Knight. He's only level 14. I want to kill him.
Yeah. CK's only 14.
Yeah, he's only level 14.
Damn. I'm 14 too. What the hell? What's he
Well,
been
he hasn't
doing?
been farming. He's only been getting
All right.
kills.
You want to smoke, Zach?
Yeah, let's fight top. Let's fight top. Let's fight top. PK isn't there.
Come here. Me?
Yeah, let's go top. I can TP. Go for this.
I'm TPing too then. It's right here.
What a
Wow. I mean, I think he's dead still.
I'm gonna get a hit big raise on him right now, but I'm just gonna keep hitting him. The laser's gonna last a bit, but I think I get a.
He's definitely gonna get a chunk from my
The other wind shot.
power shot.
think
Well, he has to reload. He has to rearm.
He has no
And
mana.
Ethan has.
He's also
And
stunned,
you have,
and he's
you
about to
have
get
rolling
silent.
boulder, yeah.
But the
He's about to
problem
get
is
silent.
that they're throwing my timing off because it was in the middle of the. Yeah, see, that's what I thought would happen. They're just illusions.
There was someone else up here. He's probably gone.
Ethan, we don't have any real catch besides my Q, huh? And your boulder.
Yeah. Not really.
I'm gonna get a Lincoln Spirit. I should probably get a Lincoln's, honestly.
Are you guys gonna jump on this or?
Bottom?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good.
he was by
I'm
himself.
TPing there. I got a
Now
smoke.
they're moving mid though. They're moving mid.
I wanna kill Druid.
Or he's by himself. He's by himself.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill him right now. My thing's already at 6 seconds, so I don't really care if I do that.
Yeah, that's fine. We can smoke and go for another one if we want.
Yeah, smoking goes a long way.
Oh, there.
We have wards.
I wish I had
Top
some.
on one early.
You're good, you're good, you're good.
Push out mid. Almost at BKB also. Oh, DD too. We could Roche too if we get one more kill.
Is it up? It's up, right? No one's taking
Yeah,
it?
it's up. No one's taking it yet.
Yeah.
Is it top?
Yeah.
Just
You got... Oh, we should play bottom, though.
Dude, what the hell is Zeus doing, man?
I'm gonna clear this wave, and then we go, I'm gonna go through the portal, because I wanna... Let's go through the portal and start playing bottom, because we need to start setting up a Roche.
Just gonna TP there.
I'm gonna kill these
actually.
guys. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
on this.
I'm
I'm gonna go
TPing
on
there.
this.
I'm TPing there. I'm running. Shit.
Here?
Keep going.
Beyond us,
Okay, just do Roche, do Roche, do Roche, do Roche, do Roche. They're dead. Do Roche. Do Roche, do Roche, do Roche, do Roche, do Roche.
Oh, go, go. I'm just scaring him away. We're gonna do Roche Zeus. Oh, Zeus.
Oh, who killed who?
Zeus got
Nice.
disruptor. He was standing out in lane.
Do you guys need me for Roche or you got it?
I think we got it. We got it. Just keep farming.
They're TPing bot.
Can we kill this?
Yeah, but his bear's right here.
5 seconds on blink. On that.
Oh, it whiffed. Back.
So slow.
Silence, boy. shit. I want this. What's that? Oh my god, Zach, you're popping off. Good job, brother.
They're dead for a while. I'm gonna go high ground on this.
Careful, they're all up, Zach. Bro. You want me to go in? I'll go in.
Yeah, yeah.
I got BKB.
Get out, get out, get out, get out. Any of those real? Oh, we're fine. That's fine. We got heroes. We can get out.
Got 50% on the tower. That's not bad. Shit. Get their bounty. When did we have for 30? Okay, 30, 39. Yeah. Got him? Take the tower,
In this
Zach.
tower.
Alright, we gotta back up a little because no one else is here. Disruptor incoming. I got my shard coming in.
He's gonna go for the thing. Oh, he got out. That sucks. I have refresher. I refresher.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm gonna refresh and then go back in. Let me get my blink up and we go. They're not gonna know it's here. They're not gonna know it's here. We can definitely fight this.
Tinker was here. Did you guys kill him?
So he can blink in and out of fights really fast, like teleport home and everything. So unless he's like out of position, we're probably not gonna kill him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really annoying, but he's kind of really far behind.
Looking for him, bro.
Get out.
Why is my thing going?
got your back. I got your back.
Shit.
Get out. Get out. Start running. Start running. Start running. We go mid. We go
I
mid.
don't think we need a back. Dude. They just killed 2 supports. We'll be able to. I mean,
One
like we
team
can
gets
just reset.
can
we
just
don't need
harass
to
the
back all the
tower.
way up.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Bottom maybe? Yeah, let's go bot. It's almost dead. Get out. Going back in. I'm going back in.
Oh, Zach.
I'm going mid to tower. I'm going mid tower.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got you, baby.
Just run. Heal yourself and run.
Oh my god.
Whatever. We got megas. We got megas.
I thought they nerfed Tinker.
I
mean,
mean,
they did.
he's not really doing anything. Just the new spell that he got. Oh, I didn't know that if you click on them now, you can see all their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I've been doing.
I hate
I
that
would've been doing
refresher in your backpack doesn't reset the cooldown. You have to have it in your inventory.
Oh, not that. I'm clicking on the enemy portraits and it tells me what their stuff is. I didn't know that they changed that.
Going mid.
Shit.
No.
We're fine, baby.
Hey, Lamau.
Wait, were those the guys getting?
Alright, bros.
That was the guy. That was the Ursa from last game, the Tinker.
Yeah, the ones getting coached, right? As
I
well?
guess. I don't know. I was just like, I made sure not to say anything till the very end. Where I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I shit on you first.
Alright, bros. I'm gonna call it here for now.
Yeah.
We'll play more this weekend.
Oh,
Night, bros. Well, come on, man.
With the first overall selection in the 2024 NHL Draft, the San Jose Sharks are very proud to select from Boston University, Macklin Celebrini.
What a moment for the Celebrini family. Dad, Rick, mom, Robin, brother, Aiden, of course, who was drafted by Vancouver in the 6th round last year. It takes a family, and there it is. And it was very cool to have Joe Thornton, the first overall pick from 1997, and a Shark hero, introducing the newest Shark hero.
It's almost like Joe had met him a couple of times before, and he knew it was 24 draft. Faced every single moment of them. So at every step, he's enjoyed the.
Hands off for me, even watching him. You know, when his name gets announced, it's the composure,
yeah,
the poise.
Yeah.
Like this guy's just programmed it.
Men and.
Right on stage, our number one and only Celine.
Greetings and bienvenue, midnight crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
I'm not sure why these threads exist. It seems like all Skinwalker Goatman stories are basically the same. But I guess I might as well contribute my own story. So there's this abandoned old oil rig in the woods right down the road from my house. My buddy David showed it to me when we were in high school. We used to go back there with a few other dudes to smoke some weed without having to worry about being caught. He said it was part of his dad's property, and that he used to play back there all the time when he was a kid, and that it was perfectly safe. David was also a compulsive liar, and would lie about the stupidest shit just to see if he could get away with it. Anyway, he told me and my two buddies, Chris and Kyle, that we could use it whenever we wanted. Fast forward a handful of years. This story takes place a couple of years ago when my buddies and I were in college. We don't really talk to David anymore. In fact, we're pretty sure he has moved out of the state. But we hadn't spoken to him in so long that we weren't sure. Either way, we continue to use his little oil rig spot, because at this point, it's just a peaceful, comfortable, and quiet place to chill for a couple of hours and just shoot the shit. Chris was usually the one driving, and I was always shotgun. It was getting pretty late on this particular evening. We usually leave before it gets dark, because the woods in this area are creepy as shit. But we had all been drinking for a while, and Chris wanted to wait it out for another 40 minutes before he drove anywhere. We all decided to step outside of his car for a cigarette, and this is when shit started getting weird. We were all talking about one of Kyle's past girlfriends and teasing him, and then we heard this sound. We all heard it, but at this point we couldn't really tell you what it was or even what it sounded like, because we were all laughing when we heard it. It was just loud enough for us to barely hear it. Kyle must have heard it better than Chris and I, because as soon as it registered, he had tossed his cigarette and noped back into the car. Chris and I just stood staring off into the woods to see if we could hear it a little better. Unfortunately, we did. So this sound, this awful sound, it sounded like a smallish or medium-sized dog at first. For a split second, it was actually kind of comforting. I think Chris and I were both worried that we might be about to learn the hard way that David was full of shit about this being his dad's property. The comforting feeling didn't last very long, though. The howling sound quickly went from a howling sound to a growling sound, and then from a growling sound to this horrible, deep gurgling sound. It wasn't something any native animal could make under normal circumstances. It sounded kind of like a koala growl, only a little bit wetter, if that makes any sense. I still didn't know what that sound was, but I was 90% sure that either monsters were real or I just heard an animal get murdered. Either way, that's when I noped back into the car. Chris, of course, didn't think anything of it. He laughed at us and teased us from outside the car, making your standard generic boogeyman jokes. He tells us that it was probably just David being an asshole, that we were just mistaken about him moving away. Chris is the kind of person who thinks he's a little smarter than he actually is. I don't know if it's because he wanted to prove to us that it wasn't a monster, or if he is just an idiot, but he went off to look for the source of the sound. I tried to reason with him, saying that it may not have been anything paranormal, but it could have very well been a psycho or a pissed animal or some shit. But he went off anyway. So Chris had been gone for about 5 minutes before Kyle and I started to get worried. 5 minutes isn't a long time, but he should have been back by then. He could have gone up to David's old house, knocked on his door, and wrestled David back down to the car in that amount of time. After 10 minutes of texting and calling with no response, we decided we're gonna go look for him. We both get out of the car, and sure enough, there's Chris, just kind of standing there beside the oil rig itself. It was dark, so I guess we didn't notice him while we were in the car. So Kyle and I are feeling mixed emotions. We're glad to see him, but we're pissed that he was gone for so long. We bombard him with questions like what happened, what did he find, what took him so long, etc. Most of our questions were met with shrugs or stares, although we were able to get him to answer a few questions. But they didn't say much. He just told us that he got lost and that he didn't hear his phone. Whatever. At this point, all Kyle and I want to do is go home. But Chris wanted to keep looking around in the woods and was trying to get me to go with him. I assumed because he knew that I'm used to navigating the woods. We stood around for ages, just arguing and begging him to take us back home. And the more we talked, the more uncomfortable Kyle and I were getting. There's something not right about Chris. He's usually an incredibly predictable person, but right now he's different. He's talking differently. Like the tone of his voice is scratchier than usual, and the things he is saying are downright strange. He's coming up with the weirdest imaginable reasons as to why we should explore the woods. Things like asking us if we needed to use the restroom, or if we wanted to see a dead animal, or something stupid that he found in the woods. It was at this point that I decided I was just going to walk home, and I texted Kyle about how Chris was being weird and that we needed to ditch him and go back to my place. He agreed, so we agreed to follow him into the woods and lag behind him as much as possible. The woods were pretty thick, and it was almost pitch black, so it wasn't difficult to lose him and get back out onto the main road. Halfway during the walk back to my house, Chris calls me asking where the hell we went. I told him he was being creepy, so we left. Needless to say, he had no idea what we were talking about. And that's about it. He dropped by my place and we continued drinking there. We argued about it for like 10 minutes. He insisted that we elaborate on how he was being creepy. We gave him examples, and he told us to shut the F up. You're full of shit. You're just trying to scare me. It's not going to work, etc. We eventually just had to drop it, because he was starting to get legitimately pissed, because he thought the joke had been going on for too long. Every now and then, I'll hear that noise when I go out for a smoke. I'd say 2 or 3 times a year. The sound is far enough away that it doesn't scare me enough to not finish my cigarette. But it's enough for me to keep my front door cracked while I stand out on the porch, in case I have to get back inside quickly. As for the sound itself, I've heard it enough times that I'm almost positive that it's an animal being killed, which eases my nerves. But I still can't think of any real explanation. We don't have any real predator animals over here. Not ones that would prey on dogs. Maybe coyotes fighting or something. If someone has a legitimate explanation for it, I would like to hear it.
Has anybody entertained the possibility that these things might be forced hallucination? An interesting common theme is the smell. This could easily be an agent used to manipulate the mind. It could be something hoping to drug us and learn our customs. Maybe the stories come from times when there was some sort of mixture error, and the serum designed to make the mind believe another creature is human, and perhaps ultimately forget the whole experience didn't do its job fully. Or perhaps the person or thing behind the mind manipulation and study was after the specific result of fear, to study the actions and reactions of humans when terrified. Maybe a lot of different and seemingly unrelated creepy things are all real and actually just forced hallucinations for study. It's interesting, we associate malevolence with harm and intent to harm as a direct result of our evolutionary social patterns. Morality grew out of social necessity. It does not exist outside our minds and only exists as a means to protect ourselves and one another from harm. What would make us think a being existing outside of life or death would understand or concern itself with the strictly human notion of morality? It wouldn't understand anger, sadness, love, right and wrong, etc. This is why I give no credence to all the evil spirit stories on here. A creature existing in the 4th dimension, or any greater dimension, cannot experience the things we experience, and it wouldn't make sense if they did.
My father is Navajo, who was raised on the res in northern Arizona. I grew up in Southern California, but grew up going to the res every year. I eventually moved and worked there. I'm not a skinwalker expert by any means, but I'll share what I know. The earliest experience I had was on one of my first solo trips, without my parents, out to our ranch on the reservation. I traveled with my cousin and a few friends. Our ranch is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. The nearest people, being at the very closest, are about 10 miles away, so you're pretty much on your own. On our first night out there, we arrived around 2 a.m. and there was no moon and it was pitch black. We had a hard time finding our hogan, traditional octagon-shaped Navajo house. We decided to just camp near a cattle corral which we found. We set up tents and knocked out until the sun came up. When I woke up, I took a little walk around our campsite and found coyote tracks which encircled our camp and actually got pretty close to the tents and campfire, which was pretty weird, and a bad sign for several reasons. The rest of the day went without incident. We woke up, cooked breakfast, explored the north rim of the Grand Canyon on the reservation side, and checked out old hogans in the area. We stayed up particularly late that night. We had been out exploring at night and four-wheeling on some off-road trails. It was around 2 or 3 a.m. and we were driving on a rocky road that went up into a small canyon. So there were hillsides pretty high and steep on both sides of me. I was standing in the back of the truck with a spotlight. That was when I first saw the light. The best way to describe what I saw was the visual effect of when you're standing in a room and someone behind you takes a picture with a flash. There was a brief instant in which everything lit up behind me, but it was a dull orange-reddish light. I turned around towards where it came from and shined the light around, but there was nothing there whatsoever, just a bunch of rocks. We thought it was weird, but kept driving. Once on top of the hill, we stopped to look around and noticed the weird light again, but this time it was far away, at least several miles. It was the same color, but it looked like a muzzle flash from a gun. I waited and waited to hear the gunshot, thinking it was people like us shooting at night, but it never came. Then we saw another flash, but this time it was several miles to the west and a little bit closer. Then another and another, closer and closer, all within a few minutes. We decided it was a little weird and, without talking about it, turned around and went to the hogan this time. We didn't really talk about the lights for some reason, and all settled down in the hogan. There was myself, my cousin, and my 2 bros. We talked for a while, and it was that moment when everyone stopped talking, and everyone was just about to fall asleep when it happened. The door, there's only one door, a small wooden door that locks shut, shook violently as if someone kicked the door as hard as they could. It was loud and strong enough to where you could hear the lock rattle, and the door bounce back and rattle against the wooden frame. My friends shot up in bed and said, "WTF was that?" They had reason to be alarmed. We were very far from anyone else, and they knew that. It's extremely quiet out there, pretty much a deafening silence, and you can hear when vehicles are approaching. I got out of bed, grabbed a shotgun, and told my cousin to get his rifle. I walked to the door, motioned for him to come over, and said, "You go left, I'll go right." I'm not really sure why, but I wasn't scared despite the obvious weirdness of what was going on. I ripped the door open, and we both slipped out the door one after the other and swept the area. Looked everywhere we could, went to the truck, got the spotlight, and swept the area. Nothing. No footprints, no animals, nothing. We decided to send a message and shot some rounds off to scare whatever it was away. I think we were all kind of worried, but eventually we went back into the hogan and settled back in, kind of joking about it to calm our nerves. Eventually they all fell asleep, but I hid my nervousness, and my heart was still racing. It wasn't until everyone was quiet and asleep that I noticed the thumping. I heard it very faintly through the rock walls, and when I put my ear to the wall, I heard it a lot better. It was a very rhythmic thumping sound, something very heavy, and timed the same every single thump. It sounded as if it was coming through the rock table that the hogan sits on top of. I tried to rationalize it and told myself it was just the cows, and somehow managed to fall asleep. I woke up the next morning and we went to check the cows, which were about 10 miles away on the ranch and hadn't been anywhere near our hogan that night. Several days later, after I told my aunts about what happened, they told me that one of my Navajo grandmas, who lived alone and out in the middle of nowhere, had a weird thing happen too. The same night we had our door kicked, someone had knocked on her door in the middle of the night. When she opened the door, there was no one there. My aunts think it was a skinwalker who was messing with me and my cousin because we weren't raised on the res. I'm not sure that is the reason why it happened, but I do believe it may have been a skinwalker.
Be making tea.
From the counter in the kitchen, I can see all of my garden. Not wide, but long, with a tall wooden fence at the bottom. Used to be sheds there, but have been having a clear out and they're gone, revealing the entire fence with one of the slats missing at about eye level. The fence backs out onto a field my favorite neighbor owns. Looking out over the garden, thinking how creepy it would be if he were to suddenly appear and how much I would shit myself. Pair of eyes appear. It's my neighbor. It's daytime, so I'm not scared after realizing who it was. Favorite neighbor, so instead of ignoring him, finish making tea, go out to say hello to him, with a cup of tea, of course. All the while, he is just staring as I walk down the garden to him. He says nothing, not creeped out, just amused at this point, because he's the type to mess around to get on your nerves. Also, the fact I had my Doberman at my feet made it pretty difficult to be scared. England, so asked whether he'd like a cup of tea when within distance. No reply. Would you like cup of tea? Off tea. He sounds slightly garbled, and I notice his eye has a slight twitch. Yeah, or coffee, I have both. While thinking WTF man you are on the other side of the fence, I was only being polite, you're meant to say no. Cough tea. He sounds slightly more coherent, but he's lacking his usual Irish accent. Are you all right? I ask as his head has started twitching a bit to the left, starting to get creeped out. Remember every single thing I've ever read on /x/. Dog at this point is buggered off. Tier? He elongates the vowels monotonously, sounding creepy, like sort of robotic. Yeah, anyway, I have to go do stuff now, so I'll see you later. Or coffee? Bye. Walk to house, trying not to run. When I get indoors, I look out the door and he's still standing there. Oh yeah, I ought to point out there was no particular smell. Could have been masked by the rank mud smell. He does have a pond. Couple of hours later, go to the kitchen to make more tea. As I open the door to the kitchen, I glance up. Heart attack mode engage. He's standing there. Jump back and almost fall over. His arm seems to be at a weird angle and he keeps throwing his head and twitching his wrist every now and again. Everything in my body tells me to not open the door and to leave the room and forget he's out there. Instead, stand there, oh my godding for a few minutes. He doesn't go, stands and twitches. After a while of nothing happening, I get sort of hysterical and start laughing madly. Step into the kitchen, grab the thing nearest to me, oven mitts. He's standing at the door and I can sort of hear him through the door, cup of tea, still laughing, crying as well. Go to open the door and he just runs off down the alleyway.
Growing up, I lived in northeastern Arizona, literally about 5 miles south of the Navajo Reservation in Winslow. Naturally, being that close to the reservation, or the res, skinwalkers were a huge topic of conversation amongst the locals, and we all took it very seriously. Stories of personal experiences abounded. I was no different. My family had gone camping in a little spot about 50 miles or so south of town called Hart Canyon, near Wiggins Crossing, if anyone is interested. We had been there all day and I was extremely familiar with the area, as we had camped there 20 or so times before. So my parents let me just wander about alone in the woods. This was back in the early 90s. Anyway, I had some G.I. Joes that I had been playing with in the nearby creek, about 80 yards from our campsite. There were no other campers there with us. My mom had called me back to camp for dinner, so I left and ate. Played around camp for a while and realized that I'd forgotten my toys back at the creek, so I took a flashlight and headed back that way. I knew right where I had left them, so in no time I found them and grabbed them up. As I squatted down to grab them on the edge of the water, a sudden urgency that I'd never felt before ran down my spine. I remember feeling frozen because of the fear, like the little boy on E.T. when the alien comes out of the field for the first time, and he's trying to scream for his family. I looked up and pointed my flashlight to the other side of the creek, and about 10 yards down the way, I saw something. At first I thought it was a deer, but it was standing up, so I thought it may be a bear. But it was too skinny and did not have enough poofy hair. It skunked behind a tree and peered out slightly at me. I seriously was too scared to move. I just read a bit about Bigfoot for the first time since it wasn't really popular in my area. I thought for a long time that that's what I saw. I finally had seen enough to gather my wits and scramble as fast as I could back to camp. I told my parents and they kind of dismissed it as my imagination, so I just stayed close for the rest of the trip. About 2 years later, I was at my house. I had 2 dogs. They were outside dogs and lived their whole lives in my backyard. One night they went psycho, barking at first at something in the alley behind my house. Then they both started whimpering. I had my window open slightly and one of my dogs straight up jumped up to the window, frantically chewed through the screen of the window, forced its way into the house, and would not leave the house for 3 days. Another time when I was about 13, we used to play night games in the town, mostly there being nothing much else to do. We would walk around our neighborhood and act suspicious so the cops would come chase us around. And we run down the alleyways and hop into random folks' backyards to hide. Now, it was extremely common to see an intoxicated Navajo or Hopi in the alley, so it was no big deal to see one in the alley behind my house that night as we being 2 of my friends and myself, ran from a police car hot on our tail. We saw him plain as day standing in our way. We ran around him and jumped into the nearest yard to hide. We waited for the cop to pass us and hopped back out. Literally about 3 minutes went by. We ran back the way we came, and as we got to the point where the drunk man had been, he was gone. In his place was a coyote sitting there watching us. We ran right past it, feet from it. And anyone who knows coyotes knows they will bail out way before you get close to them. This bugger held his ground and calmly sat and watched us run past him. We all freaked out and stayed inside for a month. My last experience was when I was about 15 or 16. My brother has a girlfriend who lives in a small community south of Winslow called Starlight Pines, about 25 miles-ish. Well, we went to see her one day, and as we drove out, about 15 miles out, we saw a native guy standing on the side of the road. This was quite odd because the res was north of town, and it was rare to see anyone on foot south of town because it's just desert and forest for literally 80 miles. Anyway, we saw this guy. He looked normal enough. Flannel shirt, jeans. We got to our destination and hung out with my brother's girlfriend and her family well into the night when we decided to head back home. Hopped in his truck, a Chevy S10, and drove back the way we came. In the same spot we saw the native dude. He was still there. I remember thinking, that dude is crazy standing out there all day and into the night. What's he doing? Right as we passed him, we heard a loud bang on the back of the truck. At first, I thought we hit an animal, but I hadn't felt anything that we'd run over. I turned around and looked out the back window. My brother started to slow down, thinking there may be something wrong with the truck. In the brake lights, I see the native guy chasing after us. We were easily going 55 to 60 at this point, as we were about to stop. The guy is on the road, feet behind us. I scream at my brother to not stop. Gun it, man, gun it. He does, and being a Chevy S10, it had a speed governor on it at 80 miles. This guy keeps up with us. We are seriously freaking out. I asked my brother, what if we don't make it back to town, or what about when we have to slow down once we get close? After those 2 miles that stretched forever, I looked back and he was gone. We got home, booked it into the house, and told our parents. The next morning, I get up to head somewhere and look at my brother's truck, thinking about the night before. I wondered what the loud bang was just before we started getting chased. Inspecting the truck, I found a handprint smeared in the dust from about 2/3 over to the right, then smeared to the right taillight. I never went there again. Sorry it was so long. But those are my experiences with what I'm convinced were skinwalkers.
My mom shared a strange and creepy experience she and her siblings and parents witnessed when she was younger at around 6 years of age. My mom is a very elegant, classy, prim, and proper woman who would not be the type of person to lie about this just to scare someone. Also, my aunts and uncles have verified this story individually. My grandparents, mother, aunts, and uncles temporarily lived in a small village town in the Chiapas state of Mexico, with a population of about 1,000 people scattered throughout the hilly landscape. They lived at the bottom of one of the larger hills, Cerro, which could take a couple of hours to hike to the very top. My grandparents were relatively poor, my grandfather making just enough to provide for their necessities by working at a sugarcane field. Yet they lived in one of the nicer homes because of its proximity to the hill and an alleged
If there's there's one thing that I have learned in the course of my career so far, it is that it was remarkably easy to go missing in the 1970s. I'm Aiden Mattis, and welcome back to the Lore Lodge. At around 4 p.m. on Friday, October 8, 1976, the National Park Service staff at Great Smoky Mountains National Park received a report of a missing high school student who had disappeared while on a field trip. When the group from Knoxville, Tennessee's Bearden High School arrived back at the Klingman's Dome parking area to get back onto their bus, 16-year-old Trenny Gibson was not there. As far as the group's chaperones could remember, the 5'3" tall, 115-pound brunette had been somewhere in the middle of the group, so it was utterly baffling that she had managed to melt away without being seen. A search for Trenny was launched that very same day, with more intensive searches in the weekend that followed. Rangers, professional search and rescue, and even volunteers combed the trails and drainages of the park, but despite all of their efforts, no sign of Trenny Gibson could be found. Confounding everything further was a seemingly incomprehensible set of clues, and that was on top of the difficulties posed by the terrain and the weather. Klingman's Dome parking area sits just below its namesake peak at approximately 6,311 feet in elevation, with the only access points being 3 trails and 1 paved road. Those 3 trails are the Klingman's Dome bypass from the Appalachian Trail, as well as the Forney Creek and Forney Ridge trails. And it's important to understand that none of these trails hit a paved road for miles. Now, if you were to take the Appalachian Trail east from Klingman's Dome, you would run parallel to Klingman's Dome Road, which is paved, but you would remain several hundred feet above it for, again, another 1.5 miles or so before they almost meet. And yet, from there, one would still have to travel miles along either the Appalachian Trail or Klingman's Dome Road before reaching any roads that lead out of the park. And those roads still weave on for miles and miles before you get out. Now, there is of course the option of going off the beaten path, and in terms of going off the beaten path, there is no going off the beaten path. For nearly 8 miles in any direction, the rugged Appalachian wilderness surrounds the Klingman's Dome area. Navigating this terrain means climbing and descending ridge after ridge, crossing through countless creeks and ravines which cut through the landscape. So it's for good reason that people wonder not just how somebody could go missing in a place like this, but disappear from it entirely. Theories abound, from running away as a deliberate act of teenage rebellion, all the way through abduction by Bigfoot. The question is, what really happened to Trenny Gibson? But before we get into the details of today's story, this is a YouTube channel, we do take sponsors, and so I want to talk to you about today's sponsor, FlexiSpot, because when Mr. Wayne Dunlap's horticulture class got off their bus at 12:30 p.m., they anticipated a relaxing day away from school, hiking amongst the beautiful landscape of the Great Smoky Mountains. Dunlap led the students out of the parking lot and then south onto the Forney Ridge Trail, towards Andrews Bald, which is a peak of about 5,920 feet, believed to have been named for Andrus Thompson, who himself may or may not have been bald. The bald part of the name comes from the fact that the area surrounding Andrews Bald is heavily forested, while Andrews Bald itself is more of a grassy knoll. It was an uneventful excursion by all accounts. The group reached their destination without issue, and they remained there until just before 2 p.m. As they returned from the Bald, Trenny was walking with 2 of her friends named Anita and Scott, as well as a couple of acquaintances she knew from class named Bobby and Stacy, both of whom were girls. According to Swain County Chief Deputy Bill Stiles, this little group of 4 or 5 had separated from the main body when, around 3 p.m., and about 3/4 of a mile from the Klingman's Dome parking area, most of them wanted to sit down and take a break. Trenny, however, wanted to continue onwards, with some reports suggesting that she was trying to catch up with the main group. And of course, that would suggest they weren't in the middle of the group, but rather towards the back. But whether they were at the back or the middle, and considering they were so close to the bus, it probably didn't seem like that big of a deal to let Trenny go off ahead on her own. She'd either make it to the parking area or catch up with another group of students. So Bobby, Stacy, Anita, and Scott decided that they were just going to hang out, catch their breath, and then move on when they were ready. According to a National Park Service file on the case, the group first noticed something was wrong once they arrived back at the bus around 3:30 p.m., and one name was not responding to roll call. Trenny Gibson. Immediately, Mr. Dunlap and another chaperone by the name of Danny Johnson went out to look for Trenny, assuming that she had just gotten off course a little bit, she was somewhere on one of the trails nearby, and they just needed to bring her back. Dunlap went north towards the Appalachian Trail, while Johnson went south back towards Andrews Bald and retraced their steps. Johnson found no trace of Trenny to the south, but Dunlap found shoe prints that looked like they matched the correct size, and that appeared to be sneakers like the ones that Trenny had been wearing. He followed these tracks west towards Double Springs Shelter until he lost them about half a mile past the junction of the Appalachian Trail and the Clingman's Dome bypass. At that point, Dunlap knew that this was more than he could handle alone, headed back to the parking area, and decided to contact the Rangers. Park technician Sammy Lale received Dunlap's call at 4 p.m. and then responded in person at 4:30. He assisted in checking the parking area and then, of course, the trail towards Double Springs Shelter, but had no luck of his own, came back, and they filed the official missing persons report. Lale then notified Sub-District Manager Gene Phillips of the situation, and Phillips began organizing a more intensive search. The immediate response was to call up all available National Park Service personnel, as well as the Jackson County, North Carolina Rescue Squad, to assist in what they knew had to be a very hasty search. They knew it had to be hasty because in the last 7 years, 3 young people had disappeared in the park: Dennis Martin, Jeff Haig, and Mark Hansen, and none of them were found alive. Guy Taylor, Jerry Dick, and Eugene Phillips arrived at approximately 6:30 p.m. where they began searching. As they drove up Clingman's Dome Road towards the Clingman's Dome parking area, they dropped off Phillips close to Mount Collins Shelter, and he went and checked up there. After establishing that she was not at Mount Collins Shelter and asking if anybody had seen her near Mount Collins Shelter, he departed back down the Appalachian Trail towards the west, headed towards Collins Gap. As he did that, Taylor and Dick drove to Clingman's Dome parking area, interviewed Mr. Dunlap, asked a few questions, and then returned to Collins Gap to retrieve Phillips. The 3 Rangers and Mr. Dunlap then drove from Collins Gap back to the parking area where they met up with Sammy Lale as he returned from Double Springs Shelter. National Park Service personnel spoke to anybody they could find who had been on the trails or in the shelters that day, but as far as anyone could recall, they hadn't seen somebody matching Trenny's description. At 7 p.m., park staff called Frank McRain and Joni Medford, and while their association between National Park Service versus Rescue Squad is unclear, they arrived at 9 p.m. with quadrant maps of the area and the Jackson County Rescue Squad hot on their tail. And when they got to the parking area, they found Rangers Bill West and Duncan Hutchinson waiting with food and supplies. Meanwhile, the admin side was working to get as much information as they could about this incident. The Park Service contacted Bearden High School, who in turn contacted the Gibsons to ask if Trenny had come home. They were informed that she had not, and this information was relayed back to the National Park Service by a school staff member named Mrs. Baumgartner. And she said that they'd given all the information they had at the moment, but the principal would call with more information when he had it. Principal Hall followed through and called the Park Service around 8:55 that night, and all he could really tell them was that he was working to get interviews with these students and find out who had last seen Trenny, what she was doing, what information they could give. But in addition to that, he said that Trenny was a good student who was not really known to cause trouble. So this was out of character for her. At least, if she had gone off trail on purpose, it was out of character for her. In the hour that followed, rescue teams arrived, they were briefed, people got together, figured out where everybody's assignment was going to be, and then at about 10:15 p.m., the search began in earnest, with high winds, rain, and temperatures between 35 and 40 degrees. For our non-American viewers, that is just above the freezing point, and you would definitely be at risk of hypothermia due to the rain. With assignments doled out, the searchers left from Clingman's Dome with the intention of fanning out to cover as many trails as they possibly could. McRain took a team and headed down the Forney Creek Trail, and they found nothing. Lale and either a ranger or a rescueman named Bogues took their team and went to Andrews Bald, and they found nothing. Hutchinson took a team and checked Gibson's last known location, which again was some 3/4 to half a mile south along the trail from Clingman's Dome parking area, and they found nothing. George West, who is not to be confused with Bill West, and I definitely didn't make that mistake several times during the research process, took a team and searched from the Dome to Collins Gap, covering the portion of the Appalachian Trail yet to be searched. And as you can imagine, they found nothing. Guy Taylor and Bill West remained at the parking area to coordinate search efforts and remained there just in case Trenny came back, and as you can imagine, they also found nothing, which makes sense because they weren't really looking. Just like, wasn't their job. So, you know what? They did their job. That's not to say the other guys didn't do their job. They did. It's just... oof. Now, I will say, what struck me as a little bit odd about this section of the National Park Service file, these are handwritten notes here, is that Phillips is mentioned here, and it just says Phillips 2, and then it's blank. Everything else says so-and-so to Collins Gap, so-and-so to Andrews Bald, Phillips to White. And Phillips 2 is between the West entry and the Taylor entry. And it struck me as odd. And it would make me suspicious if it weren't for the fact that they left the Phillips 2 portion in there. If you're going to try and hide what Phillips was doing, why only redact half the line? Why not just get rid of the mention entirely or lie about what he was doing? Like I said, it's odd, but there's not enough there to speculate on what it could mean. In any case, following a rather disappointing night of searching, personnel began to leave so that they could get some rest and be prepared when they came back in the morning. There had been 19 searchers that evening, 8 of whom were National Park Service personnel, while another 10 were Jackson County Rescue Squad, and one, I believe Mr. Dunlap, was considered other or a VIP. But by 2:30 a.m., Guy Taylor, Duncan Hutchinson, and Bill West were the only ones left in the parking area, and they bedded down for the night just in case Trenny came back. The next morning, things kicked into high gear, with only the suggestion by Trenny's friends that she had tried to take a shortcut to guide them. Bright and early on Saturday morning, October 9th, 1976, rescue squads and National Park Service personnel began to trickle in. And as the numbers swelled, the 3 men who had stayed overnight were sent home so that they too could get some rest. As for those new rescue squads, they were coming in force. Blount County sent 20 men and a dog, while Sevier County committed 25 men and a dog of their own. And while teams were arriving, reviews of the previous day's efforts brought to light a comment from one of the male students in the group, who claimed he saw Trenny leave a trail into the undergrowth to the east. Rescue squads were briefed at 8:15 a.m. and told that they were looking for a 16-year-old girl with long brown hair and green eyes who was 5 foot 3 inches tall and 115 pounds. She would be wearing a brown plaid jacket or shirt, blue jeans, blue Adidas with crossbar and sole circle pattern, a blue and white striped sweater, and blue jeans. Mr. Dunlap also had described her to rangers as hardy, aggressive, and healthy, with acute senses, in stable mental condition, and right-handed. I do want to be clear, this was based off of essentially a checklist where he was asked to choose from multiple choices which best described her. This was not Mr. Dunlap sitting there and going, yeah, she's all of these things. It's a checklist. In addition to that, it was expected that she'd answer to a whistle or call, but she was also unfamiliar with the terrain, had very little outdoor knowledge, and had never ever been lost before. Shortly after that briefing, nurses coming in with Sevier County Medical Examiner Dr. Robert Lash arrived at 8:30 p.m. and set up their facilities in the men's restroom. Dr. Lash had also been involved in Mark Hansen's disappearance a year earlier as the county coroner. Further rescue squads from Tennessee and North Carolina continued to arrive until 9 o'clock a.m., at which point the crews were dispatched to their respective search areas. The search was to cover the trails from the Dome parking area to Andrews Bald, as well as some of the Forney Creek Trail. The road to the Dome parking area was closed, and Frank McGrain was stationed there to make sure that nobody who was not authorized to actually be involved in the search came through. Sammy Lale took Jan Dick, Reynolds Sheridan, and tracker Lenny Garver to the upper side of Andrews Bald, while Harold Wood, John Batzer, and tracker J.R. Buchanan covered the lower side of the trail. Jerry Dick and Robbie Robinson arrived at 9:25 a.m., and Robinson went out with Bruce Umstead and one of the dogs, while Dick went out with H.E. Biddle and Jim Stafford taking another dog. I believe it's a little unclear. There were either 2 or 4 dogs involved this day. I should also take a moment to mention that while dogs are a very important and standard part of search and rescue operations, they are not 100% accurate every time. They do sometimes follow the wrong trail, they sometimes fail to pick up a scent, but in general, they are still considered to be a useful guide for where to start a search. Point of the matter is, just because a dog goes a certain direction does not necessarily mean the person did. As the dog and tracker teams went out and searched, Guy Taylor called in at 10:05 a.m. to alert the headquarters that Haywood County Rescue Squad, as well as 50 volunteers, were on their way, despite having been warned about the bad weather. And that bad weather was once again in the 30s, cold with intermittent rains. Now, while most of this search was being coordinated by the National Park Service, Swain County Search and Rescue were operating on their own without any supervision in the Noland Creek area, towards the lower end of that drainage. To be clear, when I say that they were operating without National Park supervision, I don't mean they were operating without National Park permission. They were actually being allowed to search areas like Mill Creek, but they were not being directed by rangers. Back up in the more immediate area of Trenny's disappearance, however, one of the search dogs picked up a scent near Andrews Bald around 10:30 a.m. The dog followed that scent towards the Forney Creek Trail, prompting the searchers to divert another dog to the same area at 11 a.m. And as those dogs searched Forney Creek, other crews made it to the lowest point of the search area at 10:35 a.m. and began working their way back up to Klingman's Dome. And at this point, the weather was beginning to take a toll, with 9 searchers sent back to the Klingman's Dome parking area to seek medical attention due to illnesses brought on by the cold and wet conditions. But thankfully, they were receiving reinforcements. Thankfully, reinforcements were on the way in, with an Army Air Rescue team commanded by Jerry McFarland arriving at 10:45 a.m., and Park Service Rangers Ronnie Click and Dwight McCarter, who we recognize from a couple of these other cases, following not far behind. Along with these additional men, a 20-man platoon from the United States Marine Corps 4th Engineering Battalion arrived at 11:15 a.m., but they were not properly dressed for the cold. Thankfully, Flash was able to clear them, but only for a short time. But it did seem that each step forward was being met with another step back. As Sammy Lale's group arrived back at the Dome parking area around 11:40 a.m., helicopters were being grounded because the weather was getting even worse. More Rangers were en route by 12 p.m., and a note from 12:15 a.m. reports Woods team out. And if we're going with the language used throughout the reports, this means they were activated to the search area and likely to replace some of the Tennessee squads that had been out since the morning. And yes, I hear there's a siren behind me. At 12:45 p.m., those units were released to get meals and head home, with instructions to return by 7 a.m. if Trenny was not found that night. At 2 p.m., Ronnie Click and Dwight McCarter, who unfortunately did not write an entry in his book about this case, took the AT to Goshen Trail to Elkmont, but shortly after that, Umstead and Robinson's bloodhound caught something very important. As they took their dog around the Klingman's Dome Tower area, it alerted to a scent. The dog followed that scent for about 1.5 miles east towards Collins Gap, and then diverted down towards Klingman's Dome Road. And then, as the dog made it to the road, it lost the scent. And then just a few minutes later, Rangers received a report of a girl who was crying as she walked along Little River Road. A ranger, however, reported that he had just been driving on Little River Road and had seen no girl, and that he was 5 miles east of the Y. Now, this is not a YMCA. I believe, based on the location, that he means the Townsend Y, spelled W-Y-E, but without any further info, it's hard to say exactly what he meant, exactly where he was, and where the girl had been spotted. We also don't know if he'd driven the entirety of the road, or if he just hadn't seen her on the portion of the road he was on. As search efforts on the ground tried to figure out where they should even be looking for Trenny, helicopters were able to get off the ground again, heading from Sugarlands down to Cades Cove, from where they'd be dispatched to check on the North Carolina side of the park. Haywood County Rescue Squad arrived shortly after that, while a Ned Allison checked a water pumping station that I could not locate. And as these groups worked, a team led by an Ed Bailey did a line search of the Klingman's Dome area between the trail and the road, where they found a shoe print. Not long after that, around 3 p.m., Anderson and West Buncombe County Rescue Squads arrived and were sent to do a line search, though the exact location is not made clear. It just says that they were sent to the second search pattern. And I know that this is a lot of different things going on at once, but I tried to do this in chronological order because it was the best way to make it make sense given how little specific information there is about any given team. There's no, this team did this, and this, and this team did this, and this. It's just hour by hour, minute by minute. And also, they don't use a ton of names. They mostly use people's numbers, and they give no key for whose number is which. But in any case, at this same time, around 3 p.m., a dog was sent to once again check the route towards Double Springs, but it did not alert on the print found by Bailey, and it didn't seem to track anything down to the west. Half an hour later, around 3:35 p.m., Skyland Search and Rescue arrived, with Weaverville and Fairview Rescue Squads dispatched to Sector B. So what Sector B is once again not in the files. The rescue squads that had come in during mid-morning to relieve those from Tennessee who had been there since 7 a.m. began to return from their line searches at 4:15 p.m. and were released as they arrived. At 4:40 p.m., and I'm going to assume that these guys are either the North Carolina rescue squads that had just arrived, or that they are National Park Service personnel. Jason Hook and John John started down Clingman's Creek, while a Bill Acree headed down Salola Creek. Those three men planned to join up at Nolan Creek Trail and then stay the night. Back up near Clingman's Dome, Guy Taylor and Bill West arrived back at the parking area around 5:10 p.m., and shortly after that, another call came in from one of Trenny's classmates, this one named Lisa Michael. Now, as far as I can tell, Lisa Michael was not actually part of the group that Trenny was with. She seems to have been a little bit further back, maybe as part of a different group. And that would now suggest that Trenny actually was in the middle. Or at the very least, she was neither at the very back nor the very front of the school group. In any case, Lisa said that she last saw Trenny a mile from the parking area with Stacy Martin, Anita Bounds, and Bobby Kogel, and that when they all stopped to rest, she had continued onward. She said that she had lost sight of the missing girl as she had rounded a bend in the trail ahead of her. Further information became available as the evening went on, with the results of interviews coming in from other students. Two friends of hers who had seen her most recently told Rangers that the three of them were almost to the parking area when the two speaking to the Rangers sat down to rest and Trenny continued onward. One of those students had told Mrs. Baumgardner that Trenny seemed to be in a hurry to get back, hence why she didn't stop with the rest of them. Anita Bounds specifically said that she was with Trenny Gibson, Scott Troy, and Bobby Kogel, and all but Trenny decided to take a break. And then Trenny was on the trail one moment and gone the next. And here the report includes something important, because while I was having a hard time determining exactly where Trenny disappeared, the Rangers were there, and the Rangers were able to ask specific questions. And as far as the report was concerned, from where they said Trenny was last seen, if she had remained on the trail, they would have been able to see her, which means if they lost sight of her, she left the trail. And that tracked with what Bobby Kogel's interview said, because she said that she was behind two other girls on the trail when Trenny caught up with Anita and Scott, and that she walked with them for a while before stopping to rest as well. Now what I mean is that Bobby walked with the rest of the group. She said she didn't know Trenny very well, they just had class together, but she walked with Anita, Trenny, and Scott, probably also Stacy Martin, and that Bobby stopped to rest with the group. Trenny did not. She said that it appeared as though Trenny had stopped a little further up the trail, bent over, and then made a right turn off. Rangers checked that spot where Trenny's friends suggested she had left the trail and found it rather unbelievable that she could have done that. As for the location, which again I can't say for sure and Google Maps does not let me get close enough to really tell for certain, the group had just passed a large, long, flat rock on the right side of the trail along the top of the ridge, and Trenny was last seen just above that point. The reason that the Rangers found it unbelievable she could have left there is that not only was this a very rough and dense area full of trees and rocks, but also it's a pretty steep slope. It certainly wasn't the kind of thing where you could accidentally find yourself going off trail. But in addition to that, it was hard for them to comprehend why she would have deliberately done so, because this would not have been a shortcut. This would not have led her back to the Clingman's Dome parking area. She would have had to go downhill and then back uphill. It would have been considerably more difficult. And if you are in the area, I was able to go and use Google Street View a little bit, you can tell walking along that area, you're not going to be able to make the shortcut that was being suggested. This could not have been a case of her just thinking there was a path. There was definitely no path. But this version of events, however unlikely it may have seemed, also matched with what the male student quoted earlier had told them. And given that the information given by the male student matched that given by Bobby Kogel, I'm going to go ahead and wager that it was probably Scott Troy giving them the information. At the very least, it was a clue, but not one that told them very much. So, around 8 p.m., the search closed down and people started to file out so that they could get rest for the next morning. As far as what the day brought to the search, it wasn't much. They considered it to have negative results, and the only real guiding light here, the only thing that kept them hopeful, was that the dogs had caught a scent. The search was back on less than 12 hours later, on the morning of October 10th, 1976, with Assistant Chief Linehan, Dr. Lash, and Air Rescue briefing the searchers at headquarters at 7:30 a.m. Then everyone went up to the Clingman's Dome parking area about an hour later. Helicopters started flying sweep searches half an hour after that, while Frank McGrain and the Swain County Rescue Squad worked the lower end of Noland and Forney Creeks. Mike Dennis and Duncan Holler took a group of 20 volunteers from the nearby 20-mile area down Forney Creek at 9:50 a.m., with all teams present in the search area by 10 a.m. And for the first time since Trenny had gone missing, a full-scale air search was viable, and they had at least 4 helicopters in the air by 11. On the ground, search teams fanned out to check the areas off-trail, considering that the trails had now been very well combed, And they also reached out to the FBI to ask about a dog. At this point, they were operating in 5 search teams, and Team 1 took the southwest side of Clingman Creek, and Team 2 took the east side. Team 3 took the sides of Andrews Bald, while Team 4 searched between the Appalachian Trail and Forney Creek Trail, and Team 5 went from the Dome parking area to Collins Gap on the north side of the road. Dogs were sent out to Andrews Bald as well as to the Appalachian Trail to once again check that section between Clingman's Dome Tower and Collins Gap. The dogs that performed the latter search returned around 1 p.m., and it was reported that they followed nearly the exact same pattern as the dogs the day before. Later that night, a Mount Juliet man named Jim Sands volunteered his dog, and once again, it followed the Appalachian Trail from Clingman's Dome to Collins Gap and then down to the road. And then 20 minutes later, the searchers cleared out of the area and day 2 of the search was put to rest. On the morning of October 11th, personnel arrived at the Dome parking area at 8 a.m. with plans to increase efforts in certain parts of the search area. Specifically, they wanted to check below Andrews Bald, between Clingman's Dome Road and the pumping station, and between Clingman's Dome Tower and the parking area. All crews were dispatched at 9 a.m., or at least as far as the National Park Service thought. As it turns out, Swain County Civil Air Patrol was on hand and ready to assist with 40 men, 2 doctors, 14 pilots, and 5 planes. But the National Park Service failed to coordinate with them, and because they were kind of unable to just stand around all day waiting, they had to go home. And this deprived the search effort of considerable resources. That would have nearly doubled the professional aspect of the search. Back on the mountain, however, a German Shepherd by the name of J. Edgar, which makes me think it was probably the FBI's dog, handled by Jeff Sellers, Wayne Patterson, and Jim Ankers, checked along the Appalachian Trail at 10:15 a.m. And wouldn't you know it, it went from Clingman's Dome Tower to Collins Gap and then down to the road. The document even notes, all dogs proved positive along Appalachian Trail to Collins Gap, which seems like more than a coincidence. This time, however, the dog didn't just follow the scent out and down to the road. It followed it to the center of the road and then another 200 yards further away from the parking area along the road. And that direction the dog was taking them went to another parking area. However, the dog did lose the scent in the middle of the road. Helicopters hit the skies at 11 a.m., but they found nothing, and it seems that most of their utility during this search effort was ferrying people around. Speaking of which, there was actually quite a bit of ferrying going on, with the Red Cross and Gatlinburg Fire Department working in tandem to provide food and supplies to the searchers on the mountain. Unfortunately, no amount of searching seemed to be enough to track down Trenny, who, if the dogs were actually following the right trail, probably wasn't even in the park. And it seems that the Rangers may have understood this, and may have kind of had the same feeling, that if Trenny were still alive, she had to be somewhere else. So, at 4:30 p.m., all rescue squads were sent home and told not to come back unless they received a call from their coordinators. Shortly after the rescue squads were sent home, I believe Bill West took a dog team out to Collins Gap one last time at 5:15 p.m. And when he returned to the parking area at 7 p.m., he reported that just like the last 4 dogs, his dog had tracked out to Collins Gap, down to Clingman's Dome Road, and then lost the scent. Whatever had happened to Trenny, the search effort was floundering, and the Park Service knew their only chance of finding her alive after several days in the cold and rain was if she had made it out of the park. By the morning of October 12th, the searchers absolutely knew that the chances of finding Trenny alive inside the park were slim, but that didn't mean they were going to give up looking. 3 crews checked the Forney Creek